What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Truly appreciate all that support with Lightfall here. Build videos have been popping off, so just wanted to say thank you guys for all of that. Now, in today's video here, we're getting into the seasonal weapon review with a void glaive called the Ecliptic Distaff. Now, this comes from our core activities in Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. Once you rank up high enough to 15, you can unlock this nice glaive from our vendors. Now, for this glaive, definitely a PvE mad lad with volatility. I think it probably plays best with our Titan just because of how stacky and damage-wise a Titan can be, but the gameplay you see is with my Warlock because of the Devour aspect that we have on, where abilities can proc that Devour. This thing, with its perks and getting those defeats with it, can proc Devour on a Warlock without having to get a ability defeat, so it is very good in that aspect as well on our Warlock. Now, I do want to go over the perks real quick and kind of how I was playing with it, just as a review overall with this weapon. And definitely, if you're a big fan of glaives, can take it into Crucible and cause some havoc with these perks. So starting off on this weapon, we have the shield duration for its masterwork, so it can hold that block even longer, taking in that damage for you, and with some of our perks, it can actually reload this weapon, so very good part of this build. Now, for our first perk, that kind of counteracts that a little bit, hence why they gave us the masterwork of shield duration, is ballistic tuning, so it gives us increased range with 68 range on this bad boy and 80 impact, but that shield duration is only at 47, so nice little addition with that masterwork. Next on our perks, we have Alloy Mag, so when you are shooting this weapon and the magazine hits 0, it will reload faster, which is nice because I definitely am using this thing to shoot quite a bit because of the perks that we have on it in our 4th column. Now, this bad boy has 2 perks in the 3rd and 4th column. First off, in our 3rd one, we have Replenishing Aegis. So blocking damage partially reloads this weapon from reserves. This is personally the one that I use the most on this weapon so far, just because the next one that we have only works in some situations, from my personal opinion. So definitely been using this way more, like I said, because I've been shooting this weapon a lot. Now, that other perk that I'm talking about is Immovable Objects, so dealing range damage increases energy while you are stationary and your shield is raised. The only reason I don't like this perk is because you have to be stationary with your shield raised. I like to move around, and with the other one, you can move around while blocking the damage and still get that magazine to give you ammo from reserves, so hence why I'm using our top one in Replenishing Aegis over Immovable Object. Now, when we move on to our 4th column perks, we have 2 again, with first off, Close to Melee. Projectile Final Blows improves melee damage. Glaive projectile or melee damage extends this duration, so once you get those final defeats with that projectile, you can throw into the melee damage mode and get that to extend as you're causing damage with that melee or projectile. So this definitely works if you're throwing it on with Synthoceps, even though they got nerfed. Winter's Guile, something like that on the Warlock, that gives you that nice melee buff as well, but definitely, in my opinion, using the 2nd perk way more for its utility than this is a very specific range of perks where you have to get that defeat to give you melee damage. So like I said, might be a little bit better on something like your Titan. Now, for me, the perk that I have been using the most is Destabilizing Rounds, so final blows cause nearby targets to become volatile. The reason this is so good is that add clear potential, plus when it does make enemies volatile and you have volatile rounds, that explosion is so much more significant because it spreads that volatility way better with Destabilizing Rounds on. Plus, like I said at the beginning, when you get those defeats with the destabilizing rounds, it can proc Devour on our Warlocks, which is absolutely nutty to me. It counts it as an ability defeat, so it is insane for survivability as well. Plus that ad management is nuts with this and those void explosions. So I absolutely love the combination of destabilizing and replenishing Aegis, just because of that synergy, being able to shoot and cause that destabilization and volatility, block that enemies so you can stay alive with your Devourer, plus blocking the damage, and it refills from the magazine because of that. So the synergy is absolutely gnarly. Now, real quick, we will go over the origin traits. It's just our Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. So we have Vanguard's Vindication. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health. Definitely use this way more than the other two. Next off, we have One Quiet Moment. Grants increased reload speed when out of combat. This is very situational again. And finally, we have Gun and Run. Rapidly defeating targets with this weapon grant bonus sprint speed. Guardian powerful combatant final blows and high value targets grant this bonus quicker. So again, if you're running Gambit, maybe throw this on, but definitely Vanguard's Vindication for that health is the way to go. Now, like I said at the beginning, this thing has that synergy for Void that is very nice. Now, we do have a lot of Void Glaives in my personal opinion, and just this season we got Vexcalibur that came out, which is also a Void exotic glaive. So comparing to other glaives that we have, I personally really like this one because of that destabilizing rounds and its ability to give us some of our aspects and fragments to proc with that volatility and add clear potential, plus with Vanguard's Vindication giving us back some health. Definitely my favorite legendary Void glaive that we have, easily, and probably even beats out the Vexcalibur, even though that thing is very fun to use as well. This thing is gnarly and I love using it, and I am not a big glaive fan, so this definitely means something coming from me. So hopefully y'all can get to grinding this out this week with Iron Banner out. Very easy to just smash out those matches and get your reputation for both Iron Banner as well as Crucible, and get this staff or whatever you are into, Vanguard or Gambit as well. Get your ranks up, get this bad boy, pair it with your Void subclasses for that gnarly synergy, or take it in as your Void weapon for some surge and absolutely annihilate enemies with that volatility and ad management. So if you guys enjoy these kinds of things, going over weapons, going over builds, definitely come back to the channel. I appreciate that support once again, truly do. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.